Welcome to Extreme Championship Wrestling!
In the year 2000, not one but two games featuring ECW were released by Acclaim. But not to critical acclaim. Let's take a look at Hardcore Revolution and Anarchy Rules.
It's time to get extreme! No!
The story of Acclaim wrestling games starts way back.
WWF WrestleMania from Acclaim!
Acclaim had already been making wrestling games since WrestleMania for the NES, and through its main brand and subsidiaries had released WWF games for 10 years, with their last being Attitude in 1999. Then things switched up a bit, with Electronic Arts winning the WCW license from THQ, who then lured the WWF, leaving Acclaim to try and find another wrestling brand to fill the void. Lucky for them, a smaller company now with significant TV exposure was available.
Oh no, it's the Van Daminator! Who can say 5 Extreme Championship Wrestling figures and rank each sold separately. Get Extreme, ECW!
And it was a mutually beneficial deal, as ECW could really do with the money and received some investment from Acclaim. But on the video game side, things didn't get off to a great start, as Hardcore Revolution was basically WWF Attitude all over again, with a quick redesign. It was really just the same game underneath, even some of the commentary was just re-recorded.
Off the ropes! Off the ropes! The bounce off the ropes! The bounce off the ropes! Against the ropes! Against the ropes!
They didn't even bother to change most of the graphics outside of the menus, and really Hardcore Revolution was a poor choice of title for the thing. But one good change they did make was including some recognisable venues such as Elks Lodge in New York, which had been used on ECW TV before, and as well as getting the TNN branding in there to promote the TV station where most people could find ECW. If you played Attitude on the Game Boy, you would have even less nice things to say about Hardcore Revolution's handheld adaptation, which isn't just a rehash of an existing game, it's somehow even less than that. Attitude had a tournament mode which was removed, tag teams and cage matches also taken away, controls were basically just flipped from A to B and B to A, but what's left was basically the same moves and same look. Instead of the cage match, there was a barbed wire ropes match, but that's the only unique aspect in the game. Reviews for the Hardcore Revolution releases across PlayStation, N64, Dreamcast and Game Boy Color were really bad. You would think that Acclaim would take IGN's advice and go back to the drawing board. The sequel, Anarchy Rules, was a little bit grungier looking overall, but this is just WWF Attitude all over again with some extra bits added on. The list of playable characters was changed up again as some wrestlers had either moved on or returned to ECW from elsewhere, but in terms of gameplay, nothing really changed except adding some different match types, such as a dumpster match, which was more of a WWF attraction.
Who booked this crap?
They had a tables match where you could throw your opponent through tables at ringside and watch them get right back up again. A UFC style Rage in a Cage match, which ECW never promoted in reality. And lastly, a Brimstone match where you throw your opponent out the ring just like the dumpster match, except this time I guess the floor is lava.
Well, that pretty much sucked.
At this point, SmackDown and Mayhem had already been released and featured multiple backstage areas, so at least Hardcore Revolution had the backlot brawl. The new release did not win critics over either. In fact, how could a game that was just built upon a much more well-received title from only the year prior perform so poorly? It was just the law of diminishing returns in effect, because this is basically the same format released 3 times in just over 12 months, and twice with a lesser known license in just 6 months, to the very same group of players and fans. It's not a new concept to re-release the same game with a new name and a new look. It had been done successfully in the past when importing games from another country, for example. Virtual Pro Wrestling brought us WCW vs. the World, and the WWF SmackDown series owed its success to the developers of the Two-Con Resident series and the Pro Wrestling. If you really want to relive ECW and are still playing WWE 2K19 on the PlayStation, do yourself a favour and use the hashtag ECWLives when searching for community creations, and download some of the great contributions from the ECW Lives team featuring classic events, arenas, and ECW wrestlers throughout the years. Thanks for checking out this trip through wrestling game history. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.
It's time to get extreme.